Hello and welcome to this YouTube video where I'm going to be recording my third podcast episode, which is How to Manifest 101. My name is Monique. I'm a manifestation and mindset coach. I live in Bali, Indonesia as a digital nomad who has started her own business teaching spirituality and helping people achieve their dream lives, because it's how I went from being broke and depressed, living on my parents' couch, to now living in Bali, Indonesia, running a business and being so happy and so emotionally regulated and just loving my life. So let's get into this. I wanted to take you guys along kind of through my podcasting era so that you can start to hear some of this information as well. And make sure that you like and subscribe to this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you get something out of it. All right, let's do it. Guess what time it is? It's time to manifest that shit. Welcome back to the Manifest That Shit podcast. My name is Monique Bertin. I am your host. And on this podcast, we talk about all things mindset, manifestation, science, spirituality, and a little bit of fun storytelling. Because why not? Gotta keep it light sometimes. Okay, so today's episode is going to be about how to manifest 101. I want to give you a very simple breakdown, step-by-step strategy so that you can start applying this and manifesting things really fast. If you start applying this framework to your life, you will start seeing results, honestly, in a matter of a couple of days. We're not going to put a time limit on your manifestations. They can come at the craziest times in unexpected ways, but the very first step is to start actually manifesting. So we're going to break it down today into 8 simple steps so that you can start manifesting ASAP. All right, so I want to start off with the story about how I got to Bali and how I manifested my dream life here in Bali, because I think that it's kind of an important manifestation story for you all to hear. It is the foundation of how I became a coach, how I had my spiritual awakening, and how I fell in love and figured out the power of manifestation. So it was about, I'll give you some backstory. 7 months ago was the lowest point in my life. And I don't know what I was really going on. I was in this relationship with a man for 2 years, and I kept telling myself that he was the one and that over time things would get better. But they really did not get better, and over time they got worse. And it turned very toxic, and I lost myself in this relationship. I lost myself, I lost my purpose, I lost my passion. And so as time went on, I just became more and more susceptible to the damage that was happening. It kind of was compounding on itself, so the behaviors got worse and worse, and my respect for myself got lower and lower and lower as I lost my confidence in myself and my ability to stand up for myself. So over time, as it got worse, I realized that I did not know what I wanted to do in life. I thought moving to Costa Rica with him was going to be a way that we could repair our relationship, when in reality it just exacerbated the already occurring problems that we were having. So I was trying to start a business, and that was failing. I had quit my bartending job to do the business full time, but my business was failing. My relationship was failing. I was 10 pounds heavier. I was not healthy. I wasn't eating a vegan diet, and I've been a vegan for a long time, but during this time point, I was just eating whatever, and it really did not make me feel good. And I would say that I was depressed. I would cry when I woke up. I would cry at night. While he was sleeping, I would cry next to him silently so that he didn't hear me. And it was just not fun. And I'm not blaming any of this on him. I'm fully taking responsibility for what happened. But it got to a point where I could no longer allow myself to stay. It turned abusive. It was already emotionally and verbally abusive, but it turned physically abusive. And I was not going to be that girl who stayed again, because I had already been in a physically abusive relationship, the previous relationship to this one. And I honestly was like, how did I get back in this situation? How? How? I was like, what? I'm like, what's wrong with me that I would allow this to happen again? I promised myself that I would never allow it to happen again, and it did. And it did. And the worst part is I thought I was gonna marry this guy. I thought we were gonna have babies. Like, we talked about it all the time, and I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure that you've had this with someone, and you fully surrender to the idea of this life together. And then shit hits the fan, and I was like, okay, I have a decision to make. I can either stay in this relationship and keep trying to make it work and keep watching my life crumble in front of me, or I can make the hard decision to get up and start changing my life. And so I made that hard decision. I said, I can do hard things. I'm going to do them all the time, and that's what I'm going to do. So I made the decision to start changing my life. And this is kind of what brought on my spiritual awakening. So what happened was, we had kind of broken up. We came back to the US because Costa Rica was a big mess, and there was other things going on that were very private, and not gonna out ourselves like that, but there was just shit going on that was just not fun. Like, I was living in my own version of hell. I'm like, this is hell. My life is hell. And at this point, I was sleeping on my parents' couch, and I was just so upset because not only did I now not have this, I had this fucked up life, but I also lost my person. I lost my best friend. I lost the person that was supposed to be there with me through everything. And, we say, like, you think maybe when you break up with someone you feel better. No, at first it really fucking sucks, and it sucked so hard, and it hurt me so bad. And while I was really upset, and I would be, like, crying on the couch, or I don't know, I would just be going about my day, and then random bursts of tears would come, crying. And what I would do is I would just close my eyes in those moments, and I would just think about what I wanted my life to look like. Like, I would just shoot off into this other realm of possibility, and I would just dissociate from what was going on in my current circumstances and think about my life and what it could be like. And this is how I started visualizing my dream life. And I had always been curious about meditation, so I started Googling meditations because I was just, like, fucking so emotionally dysregulated. I was spiraling. And I started Googling meditations, and I started doing meditations, and I was like, oh, meditations are helping me so much. Like, I feel so much better from doing these meditations. And I started getting, really into them, and I was getting very good at them, and they were really helping my mood. They're helping everything. So I got deeper into the meditations, and I started, getting curious. Why does meditating work? What's going on with the science behind it? How is this changing my brain? Things like that. And I started going down this Google rabbit hole. And come to find out, I had my spiritual awakening, and thus my love for spirituality was born. And I started taking courses. I read books, Becoming Supernatural. I'm obsessed with that book. Highly recommend, by Dr. Dispenza. Took courses, workshops, read things, podcasts on podcasts. I had nothing going on. I had no job. I had no income. I had felt like I had no purpose in life. I didn't have a boyfriend anymore. My parents weren't even at the house that I was staying in. Like, I just had nothing going on. No one to hang out with, no friends, nothing going on. And so I just poured everything into my own self-help, personal development. I was like, I can get myself out of this. Like, I have all this time. I might as well put it towards something good. So I learned about my spiritual awakening and spirituality, and then the word manifestation came along. The word manifestation, and I had heard about manifesting before, but I did not know I didn't know that there was a specific strategy for manifesting. I kind of thought, some people can manifest, other ones don't because they don't believe in it. But I realized that we're all manifesting all the time anyway. And through meditations, visualization, you can manifest life to be whatever you want it to be, but you have to claim that power that's within you. And so I started visualizing my dream life. My dream life. I closed my eyes and I was like, I live in Bali. I run a business. I'm seeing green, luscious trees around me. I have amazing friend groups. I'm happy. I'm healing. I wasn't visualizing, another person because I wasn't ready. I didn't want to see that. I just want to be happy. and I wanted to be out somewhere free. And I started visualizing it over and over and over again until I became so confident in that visualization that it did not feel like it was a different realm. I didn't feel like I was just imagining something. It felt like it was my future. It felt like that's where I was headed. And so over time, that I became so comfortable with that reality, I said, I'm ready. We're taking the leap. And I booked a one-way ticket to Bali. I started freaking posting about social media, posts about spirituality. And I said, I want to start a business. And I got to Bali and I spent my time building a spirituality business and also healing myself and manifesting and doing all the things. And let me tell you right now that that was the best decision I ever made. And that is how I've really manifested my dream life to be how it is right now. And this was over the course of 6 months, guys. Like 6 months. I had nothing. I was so depressed. I was so unhappy. I'm not like a really depressed person. I never really struggled with that too much. But I was really like not in a good space at all. And then 6 months, it took me 6 months to visualize and see and build. And that is, my manifestation came like that. Like my life looks drastically different. I have a beautiful life now. And if you follow me on social media, on Instagram and TikTok, you can see my life because I share it with you guys. And I share it with you to inspire you and show you that this is how you make shit happen. And you make it happen fast. And you make it happen exactly how you want it to happen. Now, over the course of me manifesting and learning all these things from all these various spiritual teachers and inspirational people that I follow in their spiritual journey, I developed a manifestation framework. Now, this is a very specific set of steps to take when you're trying to manifest something. This framework is basically what I did, but kind of in like a chaotic order because I had to figure it out myself. And so now reflecting back on my journey, I was like, okay, these are the exact steps that I want people to take in order to manifest faster and easier than what I did when I was trying to figure it out myself. So I developed this framework, and this is what I walk my clients through. It's a very simple framework, and it's a step-by-step strategy that has been proven time and time again to work. So just while I've been here, I use this specific framework to manifest my business, for example. I have 7 people inside of my academy right now. That started with nothing. It started from just a thought in my brain. I said, I want to make a course. That was just a thought. And now it's July 2024, and there are 7 members inside of my academy. Do you know how insane that is? Because it started from an idea, and now it's my literal reality because I visualized it. I wrote it down. I got very clear in my desire. And that is how I manifested my life. Okay, so we're enough about me, guys. Let's talk about you. I'm going to walk you through the 8-step framework right now. This framework, you might want to get out a piece of paper and a pen, and write it down because this is your golden ticket right here. I'm going to teach you how to manifest something in, less than a week. If you use this framework, you apply it, and you do the work that you need to do. You show up for yourself, and you believe in yourself. This framework can change your life. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 is pretty simple and straightforward. You need to define your core desire. You need to get so clear on what you want in life. So when I was in my depressed era, and I was in Florida in the United States, and I was not loving life, what did I want? Like, I knew I wanted life to be different, but I didn't really know how. So I sat down one night, and I really got clear on my core desire. I was like, I want to live in a different country, Bali, and I want to be a business owner. Those are the 2 thoughts that were consuming my brain. I said, if I can manifest those 2 things, I think the rest of my life will fall into place. And it has. So what you can do is you can take out a piece of paper and you can write down 10 goals that you have in life. And think about life as far ahead as you want. Maybe you're having money issues and you want to manifest money. Maybe you're having love life problems and you just want to manifest a healthy and loving relationship. Maybe you are having health issues and you want to manifest a healed and healthy body. Absolutely. Write it down. And get very clear on this core desire because your goals are how we communicate through the universe, to the universe. When you write down your goals, that's the language that you need to speak in order to manifest. Manifesting is like, it's this language that I'm teaching you to communicate with the higher consciousness, the supreme consciousness, the universe, the organizing power, the one who put order into the universe, like I talked about in the last episode in the quantum physics. If the universe was disordered, we wouldn't be alive. So there is some organizing unit, person, not even person, some other thing, this supreme consciousness that's up there. And that's going to give us our manifestation. So I call this the universe. Some people call this God. Some people call it the supreme consciousness. I just fucking blanket call it the universe. I believe in the universe and the powers of the universe. So if you want the universe to deliver something to you, you need to know what you want. You got to give the universe clear instructions. And now, when you write down the list of the 10 things you want in life, I want you to circle the one that means the most to you, that right now that you want the most. So if you want to be a millionaire and you wrote down I want to be a millionaire, then circle that one if that one means the most to you. So once you define your core desire, step number 2 is going to be identify your current identity. So your current identity in regards to the goal you just circled. So let's go with money, for example. So let's say I want to manifest more money, but I need to figure out why in my life I might not be able to be manifesting money at the moment. What's my current relationship with money like? Is there any money blocks that I have? Is there anything that's preventing me from manifesting money? So, questions like, how do I view money? How do I feel when I have money? Does money disappear out of my bank account, or do I hoard money and not spend it? Do I feel like money is gross and dirty? What's my relationship with money like? And if you're doing this with love, if you're doing this with health, it's the same thing. You need to ask yourself, what is your relationship with this thing? So now we're identifying your current identity around the thing. So maybe you're someone who grew up in a poor family and you have been conditioned to believe that you will never be rich. Maybe you're someone who grew up in a family where they were workaholics and you're conditioned to believe that you need to work yourself into the ground to be successful. And you are not worthy of success unless you're working yourself to the ground. That was my family. And so you need to understand where your limiting beliefs are coming from around this topic. Are there any type of thoughts that are in your mind that might be cock-blocking you from manifesting? For me, it was this feeling of I feel unworthy to receive money without working myself into the ground. Like, I didn't feel like you could maybe work smarter or relax a bit more and attract money. I thought that you had to force money, and it had to come from this place of force. So identifying your current identity in relation to the thing you're trying to manifest is huge, because we need to understand where you're at currently, what you need to work on as a human, as your current identity. What do we need to increase? What do we need to decrease? And what do we need to improve? So identify your current identity, all right? So now that you know your current identity, and maybe you've gotten to identify some of your limiting beliefs or your negative thought patterns, that's an A+ for you if you can identify that on your own. Proud of you. If not, check out my Manifestation Mastery Academy. I hold you accountable, and I do group coaching with this, so I help you specifically identify your limiting beliefs, which is something that a lot of coaches won't do, and I've made that a point to build that as part of my curriculum, because it's really important to help people identify what their own personal set of limiting beliefs are. Step number 3 is going to be you get to create your whole new identity and define your elevated emotions. This is amazing. This part's really fun. This is when you get to imagine yourself living your dream life and having achieved that manifestation. So you're imagining yourself as a millionaire, living your best life. You're imagining the version of you who is a millionaire. This is like a whole new version of you. She is confident. She is a bad bitch. She's grateful. She is a boss woman, a boss CEO, a woman CEO. She's a millionaire. Like, she's happy, she's confident, and she's not depressed. She's not depressed or scared or anxious like she used to be about money. So now when you're creating your new identity around money, I want you to think about what this person would look like, how they would behave. It's like you're in a video game and you get to choose your character. You get to make your new character for yourself. And then I want you to identify the specific emotions that this person feels every day, the good emotions. So these are going to be your elevated emotions, which are like the key to unlocking the door of manifestation. Like the door will open, your manifestation will come, but you need the key, and the key is the elevated emotions. So for manifesting becoming a millionaire, we're going to feel things like grateful, we're going to feel abundant, and we're not going to feel stressed. We're going to feel relaxed, we're going to feel calm, we're going to feel fulfilled. These are elevated emotions. So create your new identity and come up with your elevated emotions. And keep this near and dear to you. Write it down on a piece of paper, make a little photo, draw a diagram, whatever you want to do, and put that in sight. So put it up on your wall and look at it every day, read it every morning. Read those elevated emotions and do the best you can to maintain those elevated emotions as much as you can. So number 4 is going to be decide right now. So you have the choice to decide. Do you want to keep living life the way you are currently? Or do you want to decide right now that this new identity that you just wrote down, that you just created, do you want to decide that that is your current identity? You get to decide right now to step very firmly, one foot in front of the other, into your new identity. But you have to make that choice. You can't just be living halfway in the old identity and then halfway in the new identity. It's like you have one foot in the past and 1 foot in the future. You can't be doing that. You can't do that. You gotta pick. You can't live both identities. You gotta pick. Because if you're stuck in between, like, yeah, you kind of want this, but I'm gonna sink back into my old ways. No, it's not going to work, because you need to tell yourself, I'm not going to slip back into my old ways anymore. I'm deciding right now in this moment that I get to be this new identity every day because I'm choosing to. I get to wake up, I get to act, think, and behave like this new identity because I want to manifest and change my life. But guess what? If I keep acting, behaving, and thinking like my current identity or the old version of me that I'm trying to get rid of and become the new version of me, it's not going to happen. So that is step number 4, is decide right now that you're ready to embody this new identity. Okay, step number 5 is you need to incorporate a daily routine for your manifestations. So this could look like waking up in the morning, doing a 10 to 15 minute guided meditation, writing down your manifestations in your journal, speaking affirmations to yourself in the mirror like, I am a millionaire, I'm a money magnet, I am worthy of receiving money, I am successful, I love myself. These are positive affirmations. You got to speak that to yourself in the mirror every day. So in your daily routine, I want you bringing awareness to the fact that you are manifesting this new identity. So you're going to be doing these things every day to bring you a sense of peace and a sense of calmness, and you get to visualize your dream life every morning. So I want you meditating, I want you speaking your affirmations to yourself, and I want you writing down your manifestations every day and doing some self-reflection as well. That's always good in your journal. So step number 6 is you're only from now on going to take aligned action. What is aligned action, you ask? Aligned action means you're only taking action in the moment that feels good. However, you need to take action that feels good, that has the interest of your highest self or the interest of your new identity in mind. For example, if I am like, I'm not sure what to do right now, I'm kind of bored, but I don't want to scroll on social media because I know my new identity would be like, girl, stop wasting your time scrolling if it's not good, good things to consume. Maybe I go for a walk to the coffee shop, get a matcha, me and Nova go on a walk, and I do a gratitude walk, and I brainstorm things for my business. That is taking aligned action because I know I would feel so good going for a walk, getting a matcha, and being productive. That makes me feel great. Whereas if I sat and scrolled on social media and did a doom scroll comparing myself to other people, it's not going to make me feel good. So you got to take that little extra time before you make a decision to think, how would my future self react? What would my future self do right now in this moment? What decision would they make? That's aligned action. So you're thinking and you're acting from your new identity, and you're making choices and decisions based upon what they would do. So say something happens in your day and you get triggered. You're getting pissed off. Instead of reacting, I want you to just pause for a moment and think, what would my new identity think right now? What would my new identity do? Your new identity would probably tell you not to react, not to freak out, and just to keep going with whatever you're doing. And just don't freak out. Don't send yourself down into a spiral. Just keep going. So that's how we take aligned action. It's very important to do this. With manifesting, a lot of people are going to tell you that you don't really need to take action, that you need to kind of just relax and use your mindset. Now, I do agree with this. I agree that it's 80% mindset and 20% action. But listen to me and listen to me closely here. If you want to change your life significantly, if you want to manifest life purpose, if you want to uproot everything and become a millionaire, if you want to start a multi-7-figure business, if you want to create an impact on the world, if you have big dreams, big ambitions, you want to create change, you need to be taking action. You need to be taking action, okay? You need to be pushing yourself in the new direction just a little bit, just 2% every day. But you cannot be sitting on your ass, hoping and praying and wishing for things to change and expecting them to by not taking action. That's not how this works. It's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. Taking action is important, though. We need to be okay with pushing ourselves a little bit out of our comfort zone every day so that we can shift into the new identity. The inner work is equally as important as the work we do outside. I'd say the inner work is definitely more important, actually, but we still need to be okay with the idea of hard work. Hard work is good. Hard work is good for you. To work hard is showing yourself that you trust yourself and you're showing up for yourself every day. But I don't mean work so hard that you become frustrated, burnt out, and resentful of what you're doing. I mean work hard so that it feels good and you want to keep working harder because you're seeing your results pay off. You're manifesting. You're getting results. You're taking aligned action. This aligned action is getting you results. That's what we want ultimately, right, is results. So learning how to take aligned action is going to change your life. I will make another podcast episode all about aligned action. So step number 7 is we need to maintain our elevated emotions through nervous system regulation. So nervous system regulation, your nervous system controls your body. Controls your body. When we get into a bad mood, when we get pissed off, when we get mad, when we get angry, it's sending our nervous system into a dysregulated state. So what do we do to get back into a regulated state? Basically, how do we calm down? A regulated nervous system means you're calm, cool, and collected. That's the state that we want to be in most of the time, 99% of the time. Not all the time, though, because I will say right now that it's actually good to feel bad emotions because it keeps us in check. It keeps our body in check. It keeps our systems in check, keeps our mind in check. Feeling good emotions is not a bad thing, guys. It's actually a great thing. It's good for our survival mechanisms as well, from a scientific perspective. But what is a bad thing is when you let the bad emotions consume you. When you go into a downward spiral for like hours, days, right? And you're letting the bad emotion consume you to the point where it affects your decision making. To the point where the bad emotion is taking over your life and you're becoming this version of you. You're like, oh my God, she's crazy. She texted this person or she yelled at this person or she reacted this way that you wouldn't normally do because you allowed the emotional state to take over your body to a point where you lost control to the emotion. So we don't want to allow the emotion to take over our body. That is dysregulated nervous system. We're not doing that anymore. We're taking back our power and regulating our nervous system. How do we do that? Through things like breath work, through things like meditating, through things like going for a walk, talking to a friend, anything to get you out of that bad mood. Jumping in some cold water, taking a cold shower, just stretching on the floor, singing, dancing around, playing with your kids, going for a drive. So I had anger problems growing up, and honestly, I really did not know how to regulate my nervous system. I got sent away to boarding school. I got put in anger management, freaking therapy. I'm sorry, but that really did nothing for me. My anger management counselor never once told me about nervous system regulation. I'm so confused by this. My spiritual awakening would have helped me so much when I was struggling and I was in therapy. And I'm not trying to shit on therapy. I do think therapy is great. But I will say my anger management counselor never once told me what a nervous system was, how it could get dysregulated, and how to regulate it. Not once. So, just saying that. So how we're going to do that, we're going to just do anything to get you in a good mood. Instead of reacting, get yourself back into a good mood. If you're feeling anxious or something, think about what aligned action I need to take right now in order to get me back into like a non-anxiety mood. Maybe that's just shutting off your phone and sitting outside with your eyes closed in the sun. Maybe it's cuddling your cat or your dog. Maybe it's doing your makeup. I don't know, something to get you in a good mood and distracted. Calling a funny friend and saying, can you please say something funny right now? I love my funny friends because I don't even have to say anything and they are so hilarious, and I'm on the floor cackling, and immediately any bad mood I was in for the day, gone, because I'm just laughing. That's another thing you can do, is trick yourself into laughing. That's a great one. Okay, so maintain the elevated emotions. Now the very last one, guys, is the most important part, and that's going to be to detach from the outcome. Detach from the outcome, and this is the very significant part of manifesting. It's the key to manifesting here. So we're setting all these goals, right? How do we not become obsessed with hitting them? How do we not obsess every day, like, is it happening? Is it happening? I'm checking my Instagram following every 5 seconds to see if I've gained a new follower. Oh my god, I'm checking my bank account every second to see if I have dollars coming in. How do I know what's happening? And you're driving yourself insane. So how do we not do that? So this is going to be called getting into something called the knowing state. The knowing state is when that you have surrendered to the idea and the fact that the universe delivers everything in divine timing. The idea that the more you surrender to the trust in yourself and the trust in the universe, that it's going to happen when it's meant to. Because everything happens for a reason, and everything happens at the exact moment that it was meant to. So the more that you can surrender to this, trust yourself, trust the universe, everything always works out in my favor. I always get what I want. I am the operant power. I'm the one creating my reality. Everything is happening in divine timing. It's already done. My manifestation's already done. It's just about a matter of when and how it's going to appear. I know it's coming. I know it's coming to me. I know it's happening to me because it's already done. It already happened. It's just about at what point will I see it in my 3D reality. So it's about surrendering and not constantly checking your 3D, looking for validation, looking for proof. Because if you do that, you're going to be obsessed. You're going to be setting an expectation. And ultimately, you're setting yourself up to fail. Setting yourself up to fail. I have a little example of this. Yesterday, I was feeding Nova her antibiotics because she is on antibiotics at the moment. Don't know how she got it. Don't know. Probably ate trash or something because she is a Bali dog. So she's on antibiotics, and I have to put it, like 2 pills in her food. And so I put it on top of her food pile, and I'm standing there, and I have to make sure that she eats it. So I'm standing there watching her eat. She's eating really slow. I have, like, things I need to be doing, so I'm, like, looking at her. She's eating really fucking slow. I'm like, Nova, come on, girl. And I'm standing, and it's like 5 minutes goes by. It feels like freaking 10 minutes, and she's not done yet. And I'm looking, I'm like, why is this taking so long? I'm like, and I realized in the moment, I'm like, because I'm sitting here hovering over her, thinking about all the things I need to be doing, and expecting it to happen. Like, I'm fixating on, she needs to eat, hurry up. When is it going to happen? And it's taking forever, because I'm sitting here fixating over it. When in reality, if I had just, kept an eye on her, kept doing the dishes, kept doing things, but making sure she was eating it, but, not staring at her, hovering or waiting for it to happen, getting all tensed up, like, it would have gone by in, 30 seconds instead of 5 minutes of me standing there because I wasn't obsessing over her doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's ever happened to you? Maybe you're doing something you don't want to be doing, and it feels like 5 years, like at a really slow shift at work, and you're like, oh my god, I literally want to jump off of the bridge. This is taking so long. I'm like, we have no customers, and it's just inching by, because you're constantly thinking about, when do I get to leave? When do I get to go home? You're fixating on that result instead of just finding things in the moment to make you feel good. Maybe you go and have a chat with your coworker. Maybe you, count your tips that you made for the day. You see, I was a bartender. Maybe you, organize the cups or clean the cups. It doesn't really sound fun, but maybe it makes you feel fun in the moment because you are doing something productive with your time. Basically, what you're doing is you're filling your time up with things to distract you, but make you feel good and make you still feel like you're working towards your goal, and you're not fixating on the outcome. And that's what we call the knowing state, and the knowing state is where you want to live. The knowing state is where I live with my manifestations. I know and I trust that the universe is going to deliver them in divine timing. And I love it. It's a great feeling. It's actually really fun because it's like, oh my God, Christmas morning is coming. Like, Christmas can come at any day. Tomorrow could be Christmas. I don't know. This evening could be Christmas. Like, Santa's gonna come and deliver me with my giant bag of manifestations at any point. It's actually very exciting. But it's a calm and relaxed state. So I'm not feeling anxious. I'm not feeling like obsessed. I'm feeling calm and confident. And I trust myself and I trust the universe. I know for a fact that it's gonna happen. So that is the 8 steps for manifesting, guys. I hope that this podcast episode helped you. This was great. If you'd like to learn more about manifesting and you want some accountability, I invite you to check out my academy. As I said, we have 7 people in there and it's amazing. We're already seeing some really amazing results. One of my girls has manifested 2 new clients in her business already. And I'm like, that is badass. And one of my other clients has manifested through the law of detachment, kind of surrendering and trusting. She manifested her partner actually showing more love to her in the way that she wanted. Well, I'll go into that story in another episode, but I'm loving to see the client win so far. It makes me so happy and so excited. Oh, I'm also doing a 5-day free manifestation challenge over on my Instagram page. So if you would like to join in with me, I go live in the mornings at 8 a.m. This week, so July 1st through July 5th. I'm doing about 30-minute lives where we do a manifestation challenge. So I'll walk you through how to manifest something in 5 days. So if you want to go download the free challenge, head to my Instagram. There's a link at the top of the page. You can download that as well as a bunch of free resources to get you started. Okay, guys, I hope you're having a fabulous day. Happy manifesting. I hope you use this framework and implement it into your life. And remember that all it takes is one decision to commit to yourself right now and say, I want to change my life and I want to start manifesting, because why not? And you will start seeing results as soon as you start believing that you can. Love you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye. Yeah, we did it! Ow, my elbow. Fuck. Thank you, YouTube. That was my 3rd podcast episode called How to Manifest 101. And the link to my podcast is right here. I'll put it below this video. For Spotify, I also have my Manifest Mastery Academy link down there as well. And if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, make sure that you do so. You can find those out in the link below. Love you guys. I hope you're having a great day and happy manifesting. How to Manifest 101. What? Hello and welcome, YouTube. What? Hello and welcome, YouTube. Hello, YouTube, and okay.